What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Deluxe's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Transformers Siege Hound. This is, once again, sent to me by Tyler Peanut. He sent me this, and he sent me a couple other Deluxes that we're going to be looking at, and then he sent like a whole bunch of the Legends ones. We're not doing those. He asked me if I'd take a look at the rest of the Deluxes. I said sure, and then he sent these other little things. I'm not messing with that. Honestly, like, just, like, I don't even want to go through the trouble of opening them. And I know this sounds bougie, but every now and then I have the right to be bougie. That's okay. We all have our moments. But this is Hound. We're going to talk about him for sure. So let's go ahead and get started. He comes with this gun. We have silver paint on the gun here, and then we have hollow bits, which is fine, but a little less than desirable, I'd say. He can hold it. It can peg into any 5mm port a number of ways. And he can even shoot ants if he wants to. He comes with this piece, kind of a signature weapon for him. We have the green plastic, we have silver paint, and we have brown paint, kind of for no reason, which is nice. He can hold it, it can plug in any 5mm port, and he can blow ants to kingdom come. And any of those guns can plug into any of these 5mm ports. And he comes with this more decorative piece with silver paint. I'm guessing it's supposed to be somewhat of a spare tire, per usual. Silver paint on it, decent enough sculpt. You would think that this would fit in this little place here on his forearm, but it does not. But it can peg in as a drum for his gun. Your spare tire can fit right on this peg here. You can also take all three pieces and put them together as a super ultra mega weapon, which he can hold, and the instructions show can peg into his shoulder, but I can't get it to go. So that's a bit of a bummer. Let me try this one. Okay, that one kind of works. There we go. You just kind of, there we go. That'll work. The green one will plug in, and that might even be how it shows in the instructions. No, it shows the other one, but I can't get that one to work. I can get this one to work. It is a bit intense. And yes, I called it the Ultra Mega Super Weapon or something like that. In the instructions, it's called the HD Vector Beam Mega Blaster. Please don't correct me and tell me it's that. Don't ever say HD Vector Mega Beam Blaster to me again. And of course, your Super Ultra Mega Gun can plug into any of these ports. Don't you call it what I think you want to call it. And let's talk about the figure. So, the head, we have silver paint, black, I'm guessing plastic underneath, and then the blue eyes. Looks good. They've been doing a good job with that, and the sculpt is good. I mean, the green plastic around. It might be that the black is painted as well, and it might all be one piece. It probably is. It's on a ball peg. The articulation is extremely limited. Nothing really up down. Nothing really to the side. So you're pretty stuck because the back end of the head hits this flap. So that's kind of a bummer. On the top, we have the star. We have the paint, the copper paint across here, the Autobot symbol. This paint's a little scratched up, but with the wear and tear kind of the design, I think it still kind of works, so I wouldn't even hold that against them. All the detailings here are highlighted, which is nice, with yellow paint or white paint, and then the silver dry brushing. It's a heavy-handed dry brush. We see it down here, too. Once again, looks on par with the side swipe and lower part of Megatron, and better than it does on the Optimus. We have a waist swivel. So no issues there. On the arms, you have a reverse butterfly joint as part of the transformation, but you still can use it. And we have a universal joint once again at the shoulder, which gets you the arm all the way up and around. So no issues there. And then the silver stars painted on, which looks nice. Bicep swivel, single hinged elbow, hollow bits in there, but not too bad, much better than side swipe. And then we have the copper painted around the arm as well. And then we have a wrist swivel on both sides. It's the identical. And then we have hips. They are universals. All the way for the full Van Damme and the full Monty. Hollow bits on the inside of the thigh. Thigh swivel built around the universal. Single hinge knee, which gets you the full run. The same copper paint, red paint on the brake lights, yellow paint back here. All that looks good. No real issues. And then we have the feet. Once again, no ankle tilts. However, you do get a bit of a toe tilt. It's a toe tilt up. It doesn't really give you much, and it's a tight little tolerance, so you'll see it like snapping back into place. Yeah, hope you can see that. And you have an ankle rocker, but it's like a tight tolerance also, so it's like it's hard to get it anywhere in the middle. So you either have it flat or you have it to there. So it's like he's got to really be getting it. And then on the back, looks fine. This is a bit unsightly and a little less than what we've come to expect with this line so far. This kind of reminds us as business as usual, I would say. Size comparison wise, there he is with a Voyager, and I don't know why, but for Hound, it bothers me more than it did with Sideswipe. I think because I imagine Hound to be more of like a bigger kind of brawling bot, so it bothers me a little bit, but you know, your results and mileage may vary. And there he is with the Deluxe. Once again, his size kind of bothers me a bit more just because of how I imagine the character. That's definitely subjective. And then there he is with Fans Toys Willis. I just recently put this guy on display again. Well, not display again, but back in a display, like after I did that diorama for the front of the Ark on the outside of the cave. And it just reminded me how much I really like this figure. It really pops. But there they are next to one another, and hopefully that means something to you. All right, let's get him transformed. Untab the shoulders, bring the backpack out, and then out once again. Bring the chest piece up to cover the head. On the bottom, bring the arms back around to the inside, and then rotate at the bicep swivel so that you see this little bump on the forearm facing towards you. Then for the feet, bring them down on those ankle rockers so that they're straight. Fold out this inside flap and realign the whole thing so that it's in line. And then you want to flip them around on the knees so that they come back around underneath this backpack part and plug back into the side of the vehicle. And we'll kind of tighten it up when we get there. This is a bit of a fit and finish issue in my opinion. Like, the tolerance isn't great to get that accomplished. You kind of feel like you have to push things against their will to get it done. But you know, obviously it is achievable. To make sure you have it all locked in, make sure the backpack tabs into the back pieces and then these toe pieces flip into the inside. Lastly, collapse the forearms so that they'll peg into these black pieces on both sides, and I have a little bit of an issue with that as well. I'll get them cleaned up, we'll take a look at them. And there it is. Rolls like a champ. I think it looks pretty good. The backpack is kind of an issue in regards to how it looks, but you know, it's supposed to look kind of not of Earth, but of Earth. Once again, it kind of falls victim to the same problems that a lot of these in this line fall victim to, where it doesn't look far enough from the G1 design, and yet it doesn't look close enough to the G1 design, and somehow that ends up giving it not enough of a strong, unique, independent identity to make it seem like anything really unique. And but otherwise, I mean, I think it looks fine. And if you can get past the sort of visual takes or notes or high points or accents that make it feel familiar and kind of reimagine it, then I think you'll be fine. But it is a little unimaginative in the end. I do like the translucent plastic there for the windshield. All that kind of stuff looks good, but negatives wise, once again, there are a few. Objectively, the way that the head is designed in relation to the back plate that sits behind it kind of limits head articulation in almost every way. Up, down, left, right, you're kind of locked in a very limited range. The ankles are like tolerance weird, so they're clicky, and as a result, it's difficult to achieve them in poses that are more natural and less extreme, let's say. There's also some tolerance issues in regards to moving the back plate around while you're moving the leg pieces of the transformation, and the arms on the transformation seem a little unfinished. Subjectively, I do feel like this is a little small for this character. It just feels a little off for me in that regard, but that's my hang up, and I'm not buying the line, so what do I care? And I don't. Positives wise, we're still seeing a ton of paint. We're still seeing a ton of articulation. We're still seeing universals over ball pegs. We're seeing good sculpts. We're seeing dry brushing that actually looks natural. So there's a lot of good about this figure. I can still recommend it. I also want to take a minute, I haven't really talked about this, but the packaging is also stepped up. It feels like it should be taken a little bit more seriously in a box as opposed to a blister. I know that's a small thing, and I know it doesn't really matter for most of us that are taking them out and throwing the box away, but there's something to be said about presentation. We don't cover that sort of stuff a whole lot on this channel, but it doesn't mean it doesn't count. It's just not what people are looking for to make a purchase, which is what I strive to focus on in regards to my content. So yeah, I can still recommend it. Definitely not the strongest of the line, but far from the weakest. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.